Good evening, HPU. I'm Alexa Beck.
And I'm Nick Allen. Welcome to our final HPU All Access show of the semester. Thank you for joining us tonight.
In less than 24 hours, High Point University will host its 15th annual Earth Day celebration. The celebration will feature events throughout the day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Our Jake VC is live tonight with what activities students can expect. Jake?
Tomorrow's everyone's favorite day of the year. It's Earth Day Festival, but it's also the last day of classes, and High Point University goes all out for that. We're going to take a look at some pictures from last year's celebration that show what activities students got the opportunity to partake in. Those included corn, building t-shirts and designing them, Kona Ice, food games, local vendors, even Twiggy the Squirrel was here on campus. And then in the afternoon from 1 to 3, there's airbrush, gelato, there's a water slide, there's a memory wall, and even a DJ. From 1 to 5 p.m., it's all about the woman's time to shine. So lip balm, bath bombs, Thrift Point yoga, and bubble soccer. It's going to be a great day here on campus for High Point University's Earth Day. This will be the 15th year in a row High Point University has put on this event. And like I said earlier, it's going to be an opportunity for students to get out and get involved. Live outside the RG Warnick Center tonight, I'm Jake VC for All Access News.
Thank you, Jake. For the second week in a row, a High Point University fraternity has been put on suspension following accusations of hazing. Last week, the co-ed service fraternity Alpha Phi Omega was put on suspension following allegations of hazing. And now, over the last few days, we learned that the Theta Tau Alpha chapter of Pi Kappa Phi was put on interim suspension, meaning the fraternity is put on an immediate temporary halt to all operations and cannot participate in any chapter-related meetings, social functions, or activities on or off High Point University's campus, while the fraternity continues to be investigated. The fraternity's beach weekend was canceled, and they will not be able to hold any social gatherings as well. Pi Kappa Phi is HPU's second interfraternity council to be suspended this year, with Pi Kappa Alpha being put on suspension earlier in the school year. The university released an official statement about the incident stating, quote, "We take the safety of our students seriously and are committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment. All reports of safety concerns are investigated as a standard practice. A fraternity is under interim suspension. No further details are available during ongoing investigations," end quote. On the university's website, the school states that it prohibits hazing by all students and campus organizations, and that hazing is contrary to the institutional values and goals of High Point University and is a criminal offense in the state of North Carolina and will not be tolerated. The state of North Carolina defines hazing as, quote, "to annoy any student by play abusive or ridiculous tricks upon him, to frighten, scold, beat, or harass him, or to subject him to personal indignity," end quote. Any violation constitutes a Class 2 misdemeanor. To report any future hazing behaviors, contact the Office of Student Life at 336-841-9231.
On Friday, High Point University students got to participate in history. Current and incoming students, faculty, and staff were allowed to sign the final steel beam that will finish the new Sharman Library. The library, when completed, will be 150,000 square feet and is costing nearly $100 million. The building is expected to be completed by the spring of 2027. Happening tomorrow, High Point University is offering free vehicle inspections for students from April 23rd through April 27th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Certified technicians will be stationed at the parking deck behind the Congdon School of Health Sciences, helping make sure your car is safe and road trip ready. Students should enter near the Warnick School of Natural Sciences and are encouraged to schedule an appointment in advance.
On Thursday, April 16th, the new Executive Council Cabinet for the Student Government Association was sworn in at a ceremony in Congdon at the Calicut Life Skills Theater. The new cabinet features Executive President Asher Wimberly, Executive Vice President Savannah Cosgriff, Executive Treasurer Marshall Lemon, and Executive Secretary Juliana Kobeck.
Over the weekend, High Point University's Department of Theater and Dance presented Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. Adapted for the stage by Ken Luvick and directed by Doug Brown, this production was full of twists, turns, and surprises as Detective Hercule Poirot is tasked with finding out who committed a murder aboard the Orient Express train. The incredibly talented cast and crew wowed audiences every performance of their 5-night run. The group even hosted 250 students from a regional high school for a special matinee performance.
Our weather expert, Marissa Janis, is going to be joining us a few times tonight. Marissa, you've been keeping up with the weather like no other, and it's been a hot last few days. I don't know about you, but over the weekend I spent some time at the pool, and it couldn't have been an hour before I came away looking like a lobster with how burnt I got. But what's been up with this heat, Marissa?
Yeah, good evening, High Point. I'm Marissa Janis, and we are live at the weather wall. Now, today was absolutely gorgeous across campus. We saw sunny skies with highs reaching in the upper 80s, so that summer feeling was definitely in the air. Now, right now, we are sitting at 63 degrees, so it just dropped slightly. So you might feel that light chill if you're headed out tonight. Now, overnight temperatures will continue to drop just a tad to a low of 52 degrees. However, those temps warm back quickly. The UV is high. There's a slight tease for tonight as I have more coming up on the 5-day forecast. Overall, it's a beautiful day turning into a cool and calm night here in High Point.
Don't go anywhere because next we have a story on a landmark located right here in High Point that is for sale.
And a spree of local shootings left multiple people injured and dead. This and more after the break.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
February 19, 2007, was hit by a We need your help.
We are learning new information after the Winston-Salem community was left in chills on Monday after 2 teens were killed and 5 were injured in a fatal mass shooting at a Winston-Salem park. The Winston-Salem Police Department said, quote, there was a planned fight involving several young individuals, end quote. That escalated into a shootout a little before 10 a.m. on Monday at Lineback Park near Robin Hood Road. The incident was reported at 9:52 a.m. and as officers were en route, the fight escalated into a shooting. 16-year-old Daniel Jimenez Millian and 17-year-old Arubi Romero Medina were found shot and pronounced dead at the scene. 5 others were shot, including a 14-year-old female, 15-year-old female, 17-year-old female, and 19-year-old female, as well as an 18-year-old male. While the incident did not happen on any school grounds, Jefferson Middle School and Mount Tabor High School were placed on secure hold due to the 2 schools' proximity to the park.
A famous landmark located right here in High Point is up for sale. The world's largest chest of drawers, located on 508 North Hamilton Street, was listed for sale by its current owner, the Nito and Mariana Cubain Children's Museum. The executive director of the museum, Megan Ward, told the High Point Enterprise that although they have been happy to have played a role in the upkeep of the property, they are looking to sell the landmark because it is set apart from their campus and does not fit into their organization's future plans.
New tonight, a major development in a case took place Monday as 3 charges were dropped against the man involved in the deadly crash and death of a Forsyth County Sheriff's deputy. 19-year-old Brian Castillo was initially charged with second-degree murder, misdemeanor death by vehicle, reckless driving, speeding, and driving left of center after a crash on March 7th that resulted in the death of 24-year-old deputy Caleb Mitchell. The North Carolina State Highway Patrol determined that Deputy Mitchell's was in Castillo's lane seconds before the crash, and that Castillo, who was driving 100 miles per hour on a 55-mile-per-hour stretch on Walnut Cove Road in Forsyth County, turned his vehicle left of center to avoid collision. However, Mitchell turned his vehicle right at the same time, which caused the crash. Despite being charged with reckless driving and speeding, the charges of second-degree murder, misdemeanor death by vehicle, and driving left of center on Castillo were all dropped.
2 Greensboro businesses are under investigation for illegal drug and alcohol activity. On Sunday, the North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement Division, or ALE, and the Greensboro Police Department carried out 4 search warrants. These warrants are a part of a long-term investigation against Pura Vida Cocktail Restaurant and Bar. 12 different people are facing over 150 charges in this ongoing investigation. A pilot was killed over the weekend after his plane crashed into a yard near Tampa, Florida. The FAA confirmed that the small plane took off from Tampa North Aero Park on Sunday before crashing into a neighborhood. The pilot was the only person on board at the time. According to CBS News, the Pasco County Public Information Officer said that after the plane crashed, it ignited a fire that reached the property owner's residence, and that the accident was caught on a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera. Multiple outlets reported that the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board will be conducting a thorough investigation of the incident.
The Greensboro Police Department are actively investigating the death of an 83-year-old woman. Police are calling the incident a homicide after she was found dead inside her home early Friday morning. Crews responded to the death investigation on the 5800 block of Battery Drive at about 8:51 a.m. on Friday. And upon arriving at the scene, they found Chong McDaniel and pronounced her dead at the scene. And while no suspects or a cause of death have been identified at this point, there is no danger to the community as it's Greensboro's 6th homicide of the year.
This week kicks off High Point's annual Spring Furniture Market. 80,000 visitors are expected to come to our city, and Laurel Ricard is currently at Furnitureland South. Laurel.
So much, Alexa and Nick. I am here live outside of Furnitureland South. Now, the High Point Spring Furniture Market is upon us, and it is going to be taking place this Saturday up until next Wednesday. So that's April 25th up until the 29th. Now, this event is no stranger to High Point. This event happens twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. Now, it has been happening since 1909, and this is the year, the 115th year, that it's bringing in 10,000s of people like marketers, business people, and people that are designers that are coming in to look at the latest home design trends. Now, from modern minimalist to bold and colorful, this event surely has something for everybody. Now, it stretches 11 million square feet across 180 buildings in downtown High Point. So if you're coming here, don't expect to see everything. The showrooms are open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and appointments are key as many spaces fill up fast. So what's different this year? Well, wellness design is taking center stage with a focus on outdoor living and bold out there pieces. And there's also a bigger push towards sustainability with more eco-friendly materials being featured. And finally, technology is making its way into furniture in everything from hidden recliners to built-in audio systems. Now, beyond the showrooms, there are also panels and workshops covering trends, branding, and social media, plus live music and pop-up performances happening throughout the outdoor main hub. For students here at High Point University, the market is also a hands-on opportunity. Many are working inside showrooms, greeting guests, checking people, and supporting sales teams. Now, others are behind the scene, and they are helping out with people coming in and rearranging these showrooms and helping redesign all things that are needed. Finally, all these social media people that are at High Point, they are students, and they get to showcase their talent in how they can help progress the marketing and produce content for these businesses. Now, finally, if you are coming to downtown High Point, don't expect it to be much of an empty area. It is going to be very busy. Traffic is going to be very evident on streets like South Main Street, Commerce Avenue, and Elm Street. So make sure you are watching out for that. It's not just going to be rush hour. This event happens all day long, so you're going to be watching out for traffic all day. So overall, I mean, if you're going down to the High Point Furniture Market, you're going to want to be prepared. You're going to want to take advantage of those networking opportunities. And just remember, High Point isn't just about the furniture, it's about the experience itself. Reporting for All Access, I am Laurel Ricard. Back to you guys.
Coming up, we have an update on the war in Iran and a unique historical artifact that was sold for close to $1 million.
And a mass shooting in Louisiana is leaving a ripple effect in the community. All of that and more after the break.
February 19, 2007, my Humvee was hit by a roadside bomb that was estimated to be about 700 pounds of explosives buried in the road. It's a miracle any of us what I did was your soldiers. I feel like I should have died, but I'm here. I feel like God's given me an opportunity to grow as an individual and have another lease on life. When you look at these scars, a lot of people sometimes just get wrapped up in what about all those other mental issues, PTSD, TBI. The Coalition for Pseudo America's Heroes is the leading nonprofit that is helping with veterans across this nation. Their focus is on the entire family, which is their, his, or her support system. They've already saved countless lives, and they can save countless more lives with your financial contribution. We need your help.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more. Another teenager, victim to fake pills. That smells like big crime that needs to be
prescription medications. You trust that the medicine is going to do what it's supposed to do, make you feel better. That trust comes from knowing that teams of doctors, biologists, chemists, pharmacists, and other health scientists at the FDA are working tirelessly to protect the health of the American public by making careful, informed decisions about which new drugs to approve. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Another teenager, victim to fake pills. That smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Learn more at PSA.org and go for real.
The nation was left shaken after the country's deadliest mass shooting in 2 years took place on Sunday morning inside a pair of homes in Shreveport, Louisiana. A Louisiana father, 31-year-old Shamar Elkins, fatally shot 8 children, including 7 of his own, with the 8th being a cousin. The children were all killed in the same house and range in age from 3 to 11 years old. Elkins also shot and critically wounded 2 women, one being his wife of their children. Elkins died after a police pursuit ended with officers firing on him. The shooting spree took place when Elkins shot a woman at one home and then drove to the other house where 7 children were killed inside, and the 8th was found dead on the roof after trying to escape. Elkins and his wife were in the middle of separating and were due in court on Monday before the shooting. Elkins shared 4 children with his wife and 3 children with another woman who lived close by and was also shot. All the children were together at one house when the shooting happened.
President Trump announced that on Sunday, a U.S. Navy ship attacked and seized an Iranian cargo vessel amidst the ongoing war in the Middle East. This news follows continued issues with the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is a vital trade route off the coast of Iran that has been blocked throughout the war, causing major trade issues and skyrocketing prices. It was briefly reopened by Iran last week after talks with the U.S., but it has since been reclosed, escalating tensions between the two countries. In addition, Iran has accused the U.S. of violating ceasefire agreements by blocking Iranian ports.
5 people were injured, including 3 students at the University of Iowa after a shooting on Sunday morning at the Ped Mall near campus. The shooting happened around 1:45 a.m. after a large fight broke out in downtown Iowa City, and as officers were arriving, they heard gunshots. Several were sent to the hospital, with 1 remaining in critical condition, 2 in stable condition, and 2 released from the hospital. Investigators have identified several people of interest connected to the shooting and are working to identify a 3rd suspect.
A life jacket worn by a survivor aboard the Titanic was sold at an auction over the weekend for roughly $900,000. This incredible piece of history was worn by Laura Mabel Francitelli, a first-class passenger on the Titanic, and there are believed to only be a few life jackets like this in existence. It was purchased by an unidentified bidder who bought it for far more than the item was originally believed to be valued at.
Big news in the tech world. Apple CEO Tom Cook, who led the company to become a $4 trillion guru, is stepping down effectively September 1st, the company announced on Monday, after serving in the position since 2011. John Terrace, the senior vice president of Apple, will replace Cook as the head of the tech giant.
Well, for one HPU staff member, the end of the semester means the end of an era. Jake Gutman has the story.
Before any student heads to class, the campus is quiet. But one High Point University staff member is already at work.
I'm Ron Notariani, and I work at Kiosk. I'm here Monday through Friday from 7 to 10:45, passing out snacks and water to students, faculty, and staff.
For nearly 15 years, Ron has started his mornings here, setting up the kiosk and getting ready for the day ahead. What may seem like a simple stop between classes,
Good morning.
Thank you.
Welcome.
has become a daily routine for many across campus.
Every morning, I go to that kiosk over there to get some food and, of course, engage in cheerful conversation with Ron.
It's not just a hello, have a good day type thing. You know, a lot of people will stop and we'll chat and, you know, talk about different things, whether it's a class or something that's going on in their lives, and it makes me feel a real part of the community. I'm not a family member or even a friend per se, but the fact that they really wanted to talk to me about it made me feel really good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're welcome.
Now, the man who spent his morning serving students says he's ready for what's next.
A full retirement, actually. I'm going to be leaving at the end of April, and I'll be fully retired. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, thanks. It's bittersweet. in a way because, you know, I still really enjoy the job and, like I said, all the interactions. So I'll miss a lot of people, seeing them every day, but it's time for a new chapter.
Time to pack up and turn the page. But as Ron prepares to retire, it's not just what he'll miss, but how much he will be missed. Reporting for HPU Vision's All Access News, I'm Jake Gutman.
Marissa Janis is back, and this time to give us the full weather forecast for the rest of the week. Marissa, what can we expect these next couple of days? Is the heat going to continue?
That's right, Nick. I am so excited to bring our final 5-day forecast of the semester. And wow, the weather is definitely ending things off on a high note. Let's jump right into your 5-day forecast. Now, kicking off today, we saw that high of 83 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. So it's feeling warm and sunny across campus. Now, by Wednesday, last day of classes, we cool things down just a little bit with a high of 69 and a low of 49. So it is nice and comfortable with partly cloudy skies to get you through the day. Now, heading on into Thursday, temperatures start to warm back up in the 80s with partly cloudy skies. So it's a really nice spring summer vibe for reading day. Now, by Friday, our exams, this is when we start to see that heat kind of start to warm up with a high of 84 degrees and a low of 62. Now, we have the partly cloudy skies again, but it's nothing to be concerned about. It's going to feel a little like summer, especially as you head into those tests. Now, Saturday is looking hot again with a high of 85 and then a low of 59. So sunny skies are during the day, but make sure to watch for those thunderstorms in the evening hours because that is when we could see those thunderstorms. Now, it has been an absolute pleasure and a joy to be able to bring you the weather this semester. We've had a little bit of everything. We've had snow, we've had sun, we've had cool, we've had warmth. Guys, how are we feeling about this warm, sunny weather heading into finals?
Feeling good as an emotional senior on campus. I love my campus walks. I love a good walk around, so I'm excited that I'll be able to enjoy the last bit of beautiful weather. Yes.
Well, you know, I got to say I'm glad that the weather's kind of cooled down because I'm still recovering from this past weekend. When I tell you I got burnt, I got burnt.
Oh, yes.
I got burnt. It was hot outside. I was outside for less than an hour tanning, and I got fried.
Would you say it was lobster level?
I would say it was lobster level.
I would say that.
I would say it was lobster level, but I'm
heard
glad
that somewhere.
Yeah, that was good. I like the little play on words there. But you know, I'm glad that that the weather's kind of died down a little bit. But it looks like the weather's supposed to heat back up in the next couple days. But hey, you also do sports, and you actually just won an award. If you don't mind me asking, what was the award you just received, real quick?
Spirit of Sports Media.
Spirit of Sports Media. A little round of applause. But you also do sports, so. You know, HPU Athletics dominating per usual. What's going on with HPU Athletics?
Nick, I've got you. Now, it's not just weather bringing the heat. High Point Athletics are on fire right now. The Panthers are on the prowl, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. First up, men's lacrosse. The Panthers are off to a perfect 5-0 start in A10 conference play, marking their best league start in program history as of April. I had the chance to sit down with attacker and leading point scorer Justin Wickstead earlier this week. He leads the team with 48 points this season. He was also named A10 Offensive Player of the Week earlier in February. We talked a lot about the team's mentality, staying focused, playing alongside one another, and building momentum as they head into a strong position for the semifinals and A10 championship tournament. The Panthers are back in action, taking on Richmond Spiders at Vert Stadium. Face-off is set at 6 p.m. on Friday. Now over to baseball on the diamond. The Panthers were on the road this weekend, taking on the Charleston Southern Buccaneers baseball in a 3-game series. High Point came out strong, winning Friday 14-11 and dominating again on Saturday with a 14-3 victory. Now, Frank Kelly had a huge game. He got 4 hits, drove in 5 runs, hit a double and a home run, and scored 3 times himself. The Panthers dropped the final game on Sunday in a close 4-3 loss, but still we're ahead in the series overall. Now, just a few hours ago, High Point was on the road against the #2 North Carolina Tar Heels in Chapel Hill, and the score of that game is 2-9. Now, for our women in track and field and cross country, history was made this week. The Panthers broke the school record in the 4x100 relay with a time of 44.89 seconds. The team included Kiana Williams, Kaya Putman, Gabby Crane, and Zamisha Miles. The wins didn't stop there. Ashari Pearson took gold in the women's high jump at the Wake Forest Invitational, clearing 1.67 meters. Meanwhile, Ashlyn Giles dominated in the shot put, throwing 16.16 meters to also take first place. The Panthers continue to shine, breaking records and bringing home gold. And finally, last night, HPU celebrated the Poskers, which is the best night for Panther athletics. Daniel Lugo took home the 2026 Male Athlete of the Year award, while Brianna Malone was named Female Athlete of the Year. Now on the court, our men's basketball team earned Game of the Year honors after the upset win over #5 Wisconsin to advance to the round of 32. And Chase Johnson delivered the Play of the Year, knocking down his first two-pointer of the season for that clutch win of 2026. So it's a big night to celebrate a big year for the Panthers, and your Panthers are always on the prowl.
Thank you, Marissa. Hey, that's somebody that can do it all, Miss Versatile. But the HPU men's basketball team has been making a lot of movement since the transfer portal opened on April 7th, but the women's team has been making a lot of splash as well since new head coach Wyatt Faust took over. Our own Avery Person joins us tonight at the desk for more. Avery, what's up, man?
What's up, Nick? The High Point women's basketball team is building something big, and it's this offseason that the Panthers didn't just add depth, they added a difference, making 4 impact transfers that are set to redefine the roster and raise expectations heading into next season. It starts with the backcourt with Chloe Lemon, transferring from California Baptist. Lemon averaged 9.6 points per game this past season, but she's just 1 year removed from a breakout sophomore campaign where she put up 18.5 points per game, shot 43.9 from 3, and earned WAC 6th Player of the Year. She has a high motor, 3-level scorer who could change the tempo the moment she checks in. On the wing, Taylor Feldman brings even more firepower. She comes to High Point for her grad year after a year at Purdue, but she made a name at Northern Arizona where she averaged 16.4 points, 3.9 assists, and shot 36% from 3. Feldman was a unanimous first-team All-Big Sky selection, and she gives the Panthers a smooth, reliable score option who could create her own looks and hit big shots. In the front court, Julian Woodward arrives from Michigan State, bringing length, athleticism, and a matchup and versatility. She averaged 3.7 points and 2.3 rebounds while shooting 37.5 from deep during her sophomore year, and she's shown the ability to guard multiple positions and impact the game without needing any plays called for her. And aside is Meredith Tibner, joins us the Panthers spreading her freshman year at Miami. She appeared in 32 games for the Hurricanes, and her high school numbers were just phenomenal. 26 points and 10 rebounds per game shows the upside she brings. Tibner adds physicality, toughness, and a presence around the rim that High Point has been looking for. Together, Lemon, Feldman, Woodward, and Tibner form one of the most impactful transfer classes High Point has ever brought in a group that adds scoring, size, and experience to a team ready to climb the Big South standings. From HPU All Access, I'm Avery Person.
Thank you, Avery. And look, it's a different setup than per normal. Usually we're at the desk, now we're at the couches, because before we close out tonight, we would like to celebrate our seniors, including this one that is sitting right next to me, our very own Alexa Becker. We were very sad about. My co-host, partner.
I'm going to miss you guys so much. I thought of a Taylor Swift quote in honor of you, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the end of an era, but it was the start of an age.
So I'm just going to go ahead and get some tissues because I'm going to need them. Jake, go ahead and pre-order some tissues because I'm going to need them.
Yeah, and Alexa is just amazing, and we'll get back over to you in just a second, but she's not the only senior we have graduating. This is always a sad time for those of us who have to say farewell to those seniors. We begin with Isabella Vitale, a senior media production major. She's been here, and here's a live look inside the studio actually at her right now. She's been a dedicated member of the All Access News team, serving in multiple roles over her 4 years. We will miss her very much as she heads off to her future endeavors. And finally, we cannot mention, we have to mention Jack O'Donnell. Looks like the teleprompter there skipped over that, but Jack O'Donnell, he's been the president of Vision over the last year. We thank him for his support and everything that he's done as well. So I think we have a live look inside the studio as well. If we can pull that up, Jack, we appreciate all that you've done for HPU Vision as the club and making us a stronger organization as a whole. So, but Alexa, we got to go back to you for a second because you have just been an incredible role model, leader.
Oh, thank you.
You've done it all, and most people don't know this, but Alexa was actually my mentor, my freshman
I was wondering if you're going to bring that up.
Really?
She was my mentor.
Yes,
actually did not know that.
For communication fellows.
Really?
Yep, she was our mentor.
I referred to him as my mentee for like 3 years afterwards. It kind of died down this year, but you'll always be my mentee to me, even though you've done so much mentoring for me throughout being in All Access. So I appreciate all of you. It's been great to work with you. Marissa keeps looking at me like she's gonna cry. She's gonna make me cry. I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
Alexa.
We know, Alexa, you have some plans that are lined up, paper signed. We're just gonna hold off on releasing anything right now.
Yes, more to come on where I am headed.
Alexa, what am I going to do at the desk without you next year?
You're gonna have to think of a lot of Taylor Swift quotes.
Well, that's, yeah.
So like just throw them in there, you know?
I think the viewers should, yeah, we were going back and forth. Shout out to our telethon real quick. We were going back and forth on Taylor Swift quotes before, and that's something that
and
I'll
people didn't
dearly
even
miss about
notice.
Alexa.
Like they were really
Slip
sly.
them in a little bit or
Taylor
whatever.
Swift quotes.
Well, Alexa, thank you for all that you've done, and we're going to truly try not to cry a little bit. We'll truly miss you next year.
Thank you guys. I'm gonna miss you all so much.
We're gonna take a quick break here. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Thank you for joining us for our final show of the semester. I'm Nick Allen.
And signing off for the last time, I'm Alexa Beck. Have a great evening, Panthers.
Totally. You totally had one.